What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Addicted Cafe. I'm Destry.
And I'm Nicole.
And welcome to this episode, Addiction, the Disease of the Soul. Now, today, this is everything for addicts, by addicts, everything addicts. And today we wanted to bring you a big episode on energy and how addiction totally affects the soul. And how it totally just wires us in a completely different way, and how our soul separates from us as we do all these different drugs and we tap into the alcohol. And it just hurts us in so many different ways.
Absolutely, man. So just bring our attention to this, the understanding of higher power. You hear that in 12-step meetings, and you'll see people really needing to find spirituality in this arena, because we find out that our willpower just isn't enough. It gets to the point where our neurochemistry, our biology shifts due to the addiction, due to the fact that we've created these patterns in our brains of choice, making the choice to use over and over again until we believe that we don't have control anymore. And so there's something bigger than ourselves that needs to help us in this. So we really wanted to break that down for you, all the different things. So if spirituality, or the word spirituality or religion or God, really get your feathers fluffed and you're like, hell no, Nicole. We're going to break down spirituality in all kinds of different ways, so that there's something that you can grab onto. There's something that you can hold on to help you through this next phase. And something that you can focus on if you're really having a problem staying clean. It's for instance, we talk about a bigger power, a higher power, more than self. Well, when or two or more are gathered, right? There's power in that. There's power in groups and connection, right? And actually that has to do with spirituality. That has to do with, we're already entangled. If you look at quantum physics, we're all entangled energetically. And Destry said it so well. We forget that we are these souls, these beautiful souls that are connected. And this addiction is isolating. And through all the choices that we made and the shame that we go through, we want to isolate and we want to keep ourselves from people. And one of the number one things that's important is that connection. That's why people go to meetings. That's why people talk to other people, or hire, therapists, or someone that is a recovery coach, to have this one-on-one connection, or one and more connection, to be able to experience love. Love is healing, right? And in love, you get to be seen, you get to be heard, you get to not be judged. And there's change that happens in that. It allows you to kind of take a deep breath and be able to look at your life more from an observer standpoint than from just bashing yourself, where you get to look back at your existence and say, okay, cool, I had some trauma back there, right? I had some things I didn't know how to deal with. How do you deal with that as a child? And so I chose to use, and I got myself into this. And guess what? You got yourself into this, you can get yourself out of this.
Yes, totally. I remember when I always have this vivid vision of this experience. I was so deep in my heroin addiction. I literally put my hands on the sink and I looked into the mirror and I didn't even recognize myself anymore. I was not me. And I just looked and I said, who am I? What is happening? I don't even know who I am anymore. I totally lost myself, because as we talk about energy, all we do is give our energy to this low frequency stuff that we just keep pumping into our bodies. And the lower the frequency, the more we lose ourselves. And literally our soul completely stops vibrating at any frequency. We're so low, you can't even tell that it's vibrating. And she was talking about the connection. I remember getting into the rooms and it was just so scary to actually try to connect with people, because I didn't think anybody thought the same way I did or anything like that. But once I started visualizing the higher power, that something is greater than me, everything started to release and manifest in different ways, because we focus on so many things that are not even good for us. And we struggle with focusing on things that better ourselves.
Absolutely.
And it's kind of and for so long we were just existing. And I just got to this point where I wanted to experience the human experience and actually experience what I was supposed to and keep moving on. And in the rooms and all these different 12-step programs or any program you get into, they always talk about the spiritual awakening. Now, why do they talk about that? Because the whole program is to reattach yourself to source, to the all, to whatever way you want to describe it. It's all based on reconnecting yourself with you, your soul. And then the spiritual awakening is totally empowering yourself and finally feeling connected to something instead of feeling connected to the drug. Because for so long, the drug was my God. Alcohol was my God. Because back then I saw the power in that could change the way I feel, that could change the way I experience life. It could change literally anything at any given moment. So that was my God, because it felt just as powerful as God. But it is the devil inside you, and it is the false God, as I would say.
Oh, I love that. You know, it's so interesting. I was thinking about even just using drugs is a spiritual experience, but you're experiencing the duality of like heaven, or the duality of God, or the duality of, you know, connection and love. You're experiencing fucking hell realms, and like, you know, the participating in criminal activity and selling your body and doing all these things and plugging into, like, I love what you said, low vibration. Everything has a vibration. You know, if you looked under a microscope at the room, is like the bed's vibrating, the windows vibrating, I'm vibrating. And so when I was using, and Destry said it so well, I was plugging into this low vibration. It's still spirituality. It's just the flip of it. It's like the anti-life vibration. And that just creates more and more and more of that. And then all of a sudden we want to get clean. And we start, like, I love what you said, like connecting to ourselves, connecting to a higher power, connecting to God, connecting to people. The vibration shifts. And that vibration starts to go into our being and starts to, and you said awakening what is dead. What it all starts to awaken is like your shit. It starts to bring all the pain, the suffering, your past to the consciousness. And that's why we take a fourth step. That's why, you know, we start writing and journaling. If you're not going to meetings, it's why we start to look at the past and really make it right size, so that we can bring this good energy in and look at it. Like, energy also is different perspective. Like, if I look at my troubles and I'm like, I'm fucked, the vibration of that is like dipped really low, and I there's nowhere to go from that. Now, if I look at it and say, damn, that was messed up, but I start seeing what I can take out of it, start seeing my choices and start seeing why I made those choices. And then I start making different choices. Guess what? The vibration shifts. And then everything shifts. It allows for our brain to heal. It allows for our relationships to heal. It allows for all the things necessary to actually have long-term recovery.
Yes. I mean, and that just hit me because in a way, you know, we always talk about the law of attraction, right? Especially inside energy, inside a lot of our platforms and everything. Everybody talks about the law of attraction. Now, one way addicts can realize the law of attraction when you were using, who the fuck did you attract? Other people who were using. No matter where you went, you could find drugs. Didn't matter where you went.
In a desert.
In the desert.
Your dealer comes in on a camel. I got water and drugs.
Yes. I mean, anywhere you go, you will literally attract that, because that is the frequency and the vibration you are vibrating at. And it will just stroll right in. You're like, and everybody's like, damn, you're the man. You can find it anywhere. But no, as a true soul being and how powerful addicts really are, like, you can attract it. Now, if we focus it when we start healing and we start getting better, now watch the new people and the different people start to walk into your life. And you can start realizing right when you start going into a low vibration, because those other people, those people who want to fuck with you and lead you back into addiction, they'll walk right back into your life. They'll be like, hey. And you'll just have to like raise your frequency and tell them to like pretty much like fuck off, right? Because you have to have that so much power behind it.
Yep.
And as the cleaner I got, right? I mean, I met Nicole, I met Dove, and I met all these different people around the country. It wasn't just in my hometown. Everybody's like, I have no friends in my hometown that don't use. Well, I'll tell you, I attracted people from all over the country that I'm friends with now, that were clean and related the same. And I just kept going on my spiritual journey because stagnation does happen in your spiritual journey, especially inside the rooms and everything. So I decided, and a lot of me and my friends, and even my sponsor that I used to live with, took our spiritual awakening to the next level, because that is the only way you can keep doing it. You got to keep bringing it to the next level. Because once we reach stagnation, that's when our mind and our subconscious and everything starts messing with us and starts bringing us back to the lower vibration and starts making us think that, hey, this is still an option. But it's really not if you want to stay at that level that you're at, because there's nowhere else to go but up. And that's the decision you have to make. Keep going up, keep raising your frequency, and keep attaching to all these different high vibrating souls that are waiting for you to come back into the light and have this awakening. These people are literally waiting for you to come out to the other side.
Ooh, I love that. And I just kept hearing like spirituality takes practice. Like this is practice makes permanent. I used to have this coach that he was like a drill sergeant. He was like, practice makes permanent, not perfect. You're not perfect. I'm like, thank you, man. But I took that with me, and it's like, this is not something where I'm just like, hey, I say one prayer and I'm like, amen, and like all my problems go away. It's a daily practice. It's a daily practice of connecting with other addicts. It's a daily practice of prayer. It's a daily active of checking my thoughts. All right, I'm going to talk about the power of belief in a little bit, because it's very important. And it's very connected with spirituality, because actually we'll talk about it right now. Belief is the way we create what we believe, so it is, right? There's so many studies out there of people healing themselves of cancer and different illness because they believe that they can be healed, right? If you haven't seen the documentary Healed, watch the documentary Healed. It's really important. And because whatever you believe, that's what it is for you. That's what's so interesting about humans and planet Earth. It's like what I feel about me, right? You may feel different about life, and your reality is going to look different than mine. And when it comes to addiction, it is important we're connecting with people that are going to edify us and that are going to lift us up and that are going to teach us things that are really important. And so your belief, right? If I didn't think I could get clean, which I didn't in the beginning, actually, the first time I went into rehab, I really thought I could get clean because I saw all these other people clean, but I didn't know how much work it was going to take. And then I was like, well, I believe that they could get clean. I was like, but you don't know my problems. If you were, and then I didn't believe I could. And then I started to meet more and more people that were very much so like me. And then I started to see growth in my life, and I couldn't stay clean in the beginning. Like I kept relapsing, but I did see progress. And the progress actually helped me because I was like, well, I'm not as bad as I was. And I really just want to keep getting up and doing this. And so I started to look at what was I believing about myself. Right? Again, this is so connected. This is connected to consciousness. This is connected to God. It's like what you believe, so it is. And I started to see that I believed that I would always be messed up. I believed that I had it harder than others. I believed that I was more messed up than others. I believed that I deserved to be punished by the universe. I believed that the universe didn't love me or God didn't love me. I believed all these things. And then someone was like, well, how do you think your life's going to look if you believe that? And I was like, oh, shit, and then he was like, what you think stops you from what you don't know. Like it blocks you. And I thought I knew everything about myself and everything. And he was like, you don't know shit. And so I just left the door open to the possibility that maybe my thinking was off and that there was thoughts in here that didn't belong there. And then I started to, that was a lot of energy. It was like, I started to see where all these beliefs came from, right? All I saw was like abuse and trauma. And, there was a lot of things I witnessed and went through. And there was a lot of just disconnect with partners and cheating and just lying. And so I had to clean it up. I had to clean my mind up. And so this is where faith and like God or higher power comes in. Because when we start to like believe, right, that there's an energy or love frequency, there's a force out there that wants you to be okay, right, and is working on behalf of you. I love that saying. The universe is working on behalf of me. Yeah. When I got into that one line and I believed it, I started to watch it happen in my life, right, and it worked for me. right? And if I think that the universe is out to get me, it's going to look like that. And
Yeah.
once and what's interesting is it didn't make my life easier. People died, I relapsed, like all kinds of things were going on in my life. The thing is that I was able to get up faster. And then I was able to see the gem in what had happened. I was able to see the love in all the things that were happening in my life. And I was able to see the blessings in some of the shit I went through.
Yes, yes. And I'm going to jump off Nicole here about the universe is working for us, right? One of the most powerful things I learned in the beginning of getting clean when I was doing my 12 steps with my sponsor was the third step. Yes, the second step, I came to believe that a power greater than myself could restore me to sanity. But the work happens in the third step, right? Turn it over to a God of my understanding, right? Didn't have to be your understanding, anything understanding. I had to believe that there was a power greater than myself, right? And that I could turn certain situations over. I wish I had this stone on me because he gave me this stone and it was literally a palm stone that says, turn it over. And every time I was having an issue, he would make me flip it. And, you know, just the action, the physical energy of it, flipping the stone would make me like, oh, yeah. Okay, now it's a lot easier. Now I'm a lot calmer and I can get through this moment a lot easier because the universe has me. It's working for me. It's not against me because I can turn a lot of this over to the universe to handle for me and it will work for me. And I can handle all the other things I need to use because literally, like Nicole was saying, it's all about that belief. If you don't believe you can get clean, you'll never fucking get clean. If you just doubt yourself consistently through, you'll just relapse over and over and over. And if you never deal with these traumas and everything, like a lot of these traumas that people say they have, even me, what I did is I turned a lot of them over to the universe and the universe handled it so well. Like just the magic there that happens when that actually handles things for you. And I was actually able to let go of all the resentments, all the blame I had for me using. And I mean, we don't want to play the blame game where I started really blaming myself. I just realized that I was using because I chose to. And now when I shift the energy, I choose to be clean. It's a choice. It's just like in relationships. You don't need somebody, you choose them. Right?
That's what's up.
And so in my life, I just started going like, I choose this. I choose this. If I choose to be in anxiety and self-doubt, that is literally a choice I'm making because we all have the choice to shift it. Shift our depression, we can shift the people we hang out with. We don't like the people we hang out. Oh, the people I hang out with, you know, they're causing me problems. We don't fucking hang out with them. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm going to say a Tony Robbins quote real quick because he said it so well and it made me realize something. My expectations are only as high as my peer group. So if your peer group is all about being clean and that's their expectations to stay clean forever, then your expectations will rise to the same frequency because you have to match them or else you will fall out. And that's another up level that I was talking about. I keep up leveling to all these new people because I have to keep raising my frequency to higher levels. Because the higher I get, the harder it is to get back down there. And I know me personally, I don't want to be there anymore. If I have any of those thoughts or anything, you know, I instantly turn it over. Like that is not a thought I want. I don't have to think that way. Like Nicole said, we have a thinking problem a lot of the times.
Oh my God, we do. We do. I know for everyone that is also recovering from being, you know, in religion, right? I went through turbulent times in the beginning, just because of my upbringing with religion and, you know, being gay and just being told that like what I was doing was wrong, that like, you know, it was an abomination and God didn't love me. And it was rough, you know, coming into different programs and just kind of sitting with that. And I remember all the lesbians, the old school lesbians, the biker lesbians. took me under their wing. They were calling me Baby Butch, and they were, really got me to believe in other things. And just like, they were just like, look at how much God loves you. You're sitting in this chair right now. And I started to, look at nature. There's some homoerotic animals out there. They're gay. There's some gay ass penguins and different stuff out there. That's nature. When you start saying it's unnatural, I was like, there's gay mammals out there. And just experiencing, my connection with God or spirit and feeling it for myself. I started to just experience it for myself, how it made me feel to have faith, how it made me feel to pray, how it made me feel to know that I was loved. And like, I started to change, and I had to go through so much, like, because I kept going backwards and be like, nope, I'm not loved, because it was so ingrained in me and so programmed. And it was part of the reason why I started using in the first place, was because I was so sad that God didn't love me, apparently, when that's like just bullshit. And it's the same for you as well. We all do things in our lives, and there's some things I don't think are wrong. And then there's other things that we all know are wrong and that we partake in, and we get to forgive ourselves, and we get to get up, and so this piece of like the God of your understanding, or nature, or energy of your understanding, is key. And it gets to be your experience with those things. Like, after this, if you have a hard time connecting with God, like, go outside and look at like nature. I hug trees. I'm hanging out with the birds. I'm talking to the duck. I saw a turtle today, and I was like, bring me money, turtle. Because every time I see a turtle, I make money. I'm like, we need to pay our bill. No, I was like, I gotta help some people right now. No, but I like interact, right? And have fun with it. Let yourself have fun with this experience.
Yes. I love how you said go out and hug a tree, because I do it all the time. And like, I'll hang out with some people that think I'm weird as hell. Like, what are you, a tree hugger? Yes. Because I love the earth too, because when I came to a God of my understanding, literally the universe, the earth, I mean, everything was my God. Right. And that's what I had to experience. Because my beliefs have been also all over the place, but I learned how to utilize that, because I've struggled with religion too. You said God to me, I got scared. You said Jesus to me, I got scared.
Yep.
And that's how it was in the beginning. And then like I said before, like, I came to that, wait, this is the God of my understanding. Like, how beautiful is that? Where it's, because we're just beings of creation. And we can either create the low frequency things, or we can manifest beautiful things. Now, manifesting the beautiful things may seem a little harder at first, because we're so used to manifesting everything bad. Like, I used to believe, like, one of my beliefs is that the universe brought me here to use drugs and use them right.
That was a big mission.
Right. That was my mission. Woo! Right.
Shooting for the stars.
But like, I used to really believe that. And I used to have this saying with my friends, reality is for people who can't handle drugs. Now, I found out that drugs are for people who can't handle reality and this human experience that our souls are in.
Yep.
Because this human experience is no easy feat. It didn't necessarily come with a guidebook on what our souls are supposed to do here. Most of us forgot why we were even here. So I forgot so much. I thought my mission was to use and party my life away. But that eventually changed, as we see, because I just couldn't live that way anymore. It got so bad. Even like, it's like hard to share sometimes, because I never believed that everything I said I wouldn't do, I did. Since a kid, everything. I mean, I grew up, and my dad was a heroin addict growing up, and my parents drank, and I said I would never become a heroin addict because I hated heroin and what it did to my father. And then I became the heroin addict. I became that person. And stealing from everybody and just doing every low frequency thing I could say never do. And I could feel it, like, literally in my soul, that I was doing something wrong. But the addiction was so powerful, when I tapped into that addiction grid, that it just, my conscience and everything in my soul couldn't fight it, because I had that addiction grid had such a hold on me that I would literally do anything to get the drugs. I would literally do anything. My addiction went, and we all talk about how money is energy. And when I was in addiction, I could get money all the time. I don't even know where it came from. I don't even know where it came from, or why.
Like I might have spent $1 million. I didn't even have, spent like $1 million. And you're like, where did it come from?
Like, where did that?
I wasn't working.
Right. I wasn't even working. Like, where did that money come from? Like an addiction of $500 a day or more? Like, I don't even know where the money came from. Now, if I can reprogram that energy to focus on the great things in life, like, how beautiful would your life be? Because I always say addicts are probably the most powerful souls on this planet Earth, because we witness that darkness. And only in darkness can a light really shine, or learn how to shine. Because the way I see it is, we learned how to shine, but if you were just always shining, then sometimes you get blinded out by the other lights, because you can't see light in light. You can only see light in the darkness. And that's why so many of us addicts have come into this light worker journey, because we truly are, because we know what it's like to be in the darkness. Absolutely. And light workers do their best work inside the darkness. And it's just
I love that, you know. And the last piece I want to talk about is that, you know, we're talking about connecting with your soul, and you're like, well, what is your soul? Well, just identifying like you at soul level, like heart, soul level. What do you value? This is really important. What is valuable to you? What do you value? And you could sit there and look at those things. Like, I love people that are all in, no matter what they're doing. I love when people are all into what they are doing. I love loyalty. I love connection. I love honesty, authenticity, vulnerability. I love just like when people forgive each other. I love all those things. And when I started to identify these things, I started to make sure that that was at the forefront of my life. I started to hang out with people that were going to create that with me in my life, that people were going to be all in with me as friends, right? My wife is all in with me. Our business, we're all in. I started to take my attention to the things that I value. And then what happens is it allows for me to be aligned with my soul. It allows for me to be comfortable in this body. Well, not too comfortable, because then I can't change. But like, it allows me to find some peace in this body. And it really like resurrects the vibration of you. And that vibration is a high vibration. And that vibration allows you to do the unthinkable. It allows you to do things that normal, like average, I didn't say normal, but average people can't do, accomplish. Even getting off of heroin, Destry, that shit is like, not many people get off heroin and get off a needle or get off meth and all of these things. And like, to be sitting here right now, it's a miracle.
It really is. And like, just as you were speaking, I started like almost like falling into tears, because just this podcast alone is such a beautiful thing that we can provide to other people that need a place to go, and that can see what me and you have done and the experiences that we've had. And we get to share that with the world and share our frequency, so you can see what the frequency is like as you keep moving forward. And just like she said, like, just don't give up, because you put that much energy into it, you will accomplish what you want. You will be the person you were meant to be, the soul you were meant to be, your true, authentic self. And we love you with all our hearts.
I love you too. That was dope. If you love this, subscribe, like, share, care, bear. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm a rapper, but like, that was weak. Oh, I love you, Destry. Thank you so much for this.
I love you too. Everybody, have a blessed day.
Light and love to y'all.